Hi guys.
Yes.
Hey wife, hey.
Hello, hello. If you're coming onto this live stream, live or on the replay, let us know down in the comments. Say, hey wives, hey. We are so excited to be here with a new episode this week. So you are in the right place. If you are a woman and you want to, discuss and have conversations and learn more about what it takes to be a wife that's also really intentional about their family and entrepreneurship. So we are going live. We're just making sure that we are on the right page. We are awesome. Okay, so give us a moment to share this. We're going to be talking today about how to simplify your life and have blissful peace. I know that almost sounds like, but that is today's topic. So as we're sharing this out, we would love for you to do the same and share this over to your page, share it with a girlfriend, share it with someone, like I said, that is looking for a place, a platform, a community to share with other wives who are intentional, again, I said, about family and entrepreneurship. So I'm going to turn it over to Charity and let her tell us a little bit more about what we're going to be talking about.
All right. Hey guys, I'm so happy you're here today. Thank you so much for joining us. And before I start, this is the Wife Life, but I just want to remind you that if you're new here, you do not have to be a wife to join us. This is more about, it's an acronym, Women Intentional About Family and Entrepreneurship. So if you're a woman who wants to be married someday, or even if you don't, and you just really want to be intentional about the family that you already have, and you want to be intentional about your entrepreneurial journey, you're in the right place. So first of all, I just want to say we normally have Petra here with us as well, Petra Foster, but she is off celebrating her anniversary today. So if you want to stop by her page and wish her a happy anniversary, I'm sure it would mean a lot to her. My name is Charity Nicole, and I am the social selling siren, and I help network marketers, direct sellers, MLM gals, mainly solopreneurs as well, learn how to use Instagram to get more friends, followers, funds, and freedom, the Insta Happy Rich way. And Danielle?
Yes, I'm Danielle, and I am a business coach for women entrepreneurs, and I really help women learn how to create a brand and a business model that allows them to work less and make more so that they have the finances and the freedom and the flexibility to have fun times with their family and friends. So that is what I do.
All right, that's amazing. So today, if you saw the title, we're going to talk about how to simplify your life and have blissful peace. So we posted about this on our personal pages this week. And what does that mean exactly, simplify your life? Because that's a very broad aspect, right? We want to talk about simplifying our life. My baby just walked into the room. Simplifying our life in our business, simplifying our life personally so that our marriage can be more blissful and we don't have as much worries, simplifying our life with our children, anything in life that we have to do on a regular basis, we're talking about simplifying it. Look, I got a baby, y'all, who just got out of the shower.
Oh, that's right. So awesome. Yes, so it's so important that we are going to be talking about this, and we're going to be talking about kind of the reason why this is so important that we discuss, because I feel like, and we as wives feel like, that this is one of the biggest struggles for the modern day woman, is that she's trying to balance and have it all. That we want to make financial contributions to our family, but we also want to be present. That's just leaving us in a situation where, we're overworked and we're stressed out and we're doing a lot. And I think one of the things that are stressing women out is that they're carrying too much, different responsibilities, and it's taking up a lot of bandwidth. And this is becoming more and more of a, dilemma in women's lives that are creating more stress, because data is showing that the more successful women are in becoming through all of these advances and, careers and entrepreneurship, that they're actually receiving less and less support when it comes from their spouses. So the statistics show that the more successful women are, the actual less their partner helps them around the house with child rearing, cooking, and all of that stuff. And you would actually think that it would be just opposite. I'm going to make sure before we're done while Charity's talking that I pull up this article so I can actually show you the actual statistics behind this. So you would think that the more that a woman makes, the more her partner would help out with, like I said, we've been talking about in last week's episode, the second unpaid shift of the unpaid shift of work that women are doing a lot of, the cooking, cleaning, and child rearing. And you would think that the more money women made, the more their partner would help them because they're offsetting some of that financial burden. But what is happening is men tend to not support their wives when they do make more, become more successful, because they feel like they've got it. They have this mentality, well, she has it, she's figured it out. What does she need me for? And so it's actually, so this is, causing a lot of stress. And we use this platform to share, what's really going on and what it's like to be a wife and what are some solutions. So that is the problem. And I know that Charity's going to go into a lot of things that we've come up with as a solutions, but I wanted to just kind of lay of the land, of kind of why this is important for us to have this conversation. And let me know in the comments if you're watching this live or on the replay, what you feel. Like, do you feel like the more you've earned or the more you've seen success in your career or business, have you received more support? And I know that's really important, Charity. Talk about, lead into, because it is also important as an entrepreneurial woman who's intentional about family and entrepreneurship, that you do pick a partner who is willing to support you, and that you shouldn't be in that situation. But one of the solutions is coming up with solutions, right? And so instead of, making your partner feel bad because they're not stepping up and doing quote unquote more, which maybe quite honestly, they really weren't wanting to sign on for. They thought they were signing up for a wife. Next thing they know, they find themselves in dual roles.
They have to actually do something.
Yeah, there's some mismanaged expectations for sure are there. But I think one of the things that a real intentional wife knows these obstacles, and she comes up with smart solutions so that she can take ownership of avoiding situations, because she can just get it done, right, Terry? So I'm going to move it over to you and let you kind of talk about how can you simplify your life as a wife?
All right. So first of all, if you are in that situation where you feel like you have all the stress in the world and it kind of seems like your husband is like, not quite feeling the stress in the same way, first of all, you have to speak up. You have to be vocal. And I know I'm not personally like this. I'm a little bit too vocal, I think. But a lot of women are scared, I don't know, I guess, of their husband's reaction, or maybe they just feel like it is their responsibility, so they shouldn't say anything, and so they feel guilty. Whatever the thing is that's going on, you have to be vocal. You have to communicate. It's up to your spouse whether he actually hears you and decides to reciprocate. If he doesn't, and if he's kind of like, whatever, I don't want it, you need to get yourself into marriage counseling, because that's not fair to you. And you guys are a partnership, and that's the only way you're ever going to have a successful marriage in life, is actually being partners who share the load. So that's a huge problem. I know, I feel like this might be, besides money, this is the thing that breaks people's marriages up. I mean, it has to, because what else is going to break you up? Like, wives are stressed out because they have to clean, they have to cook, they feel like they have to run their household. When you have children, it gives you an extra burden that wasn't there before, and you're just exhausted. So then you're not going to want to have sex because you're too tired. And I mean, who can blame you? And then your husband's mad because he's not getting sex, etc. So it's just this big cluster that you can avoid if you slow down for a moment and take steps to identify what it is in your life. And I encourage you to do that in the comments, even just share with us, like, what are the pain points in your life right now that you just feel are so stressful, and maybe we can find solutions for them if we haven't already planned to talk about them. Okay. Do you have anything else to say on that, Danielle, before I start with tips?
No, I mean, that I do wholeheartedly agree with you that it is one of, if not the biggest, right up there with finances, of why, again, and I've shared this stat before, that 70% of women initiate divorce, even up to 91% of educated women initiate divorce. And I'm sure if you look back, and I mean, the statistics will show it, that one of the reasons for that is because women feel burnt out, resentful of their spouse, because they feel like now, because they're working, the same amount of hours that their partner is, and they're picking up the second unpaid shift of work, it's leaving them depleted, their bandwidth, there's not enough energy to put in all these buckets, and women were not physically built for this type of bandwidth. That's another thing. And this is why getting back to a feminine way of working is so, and this is what I will speak out on how I was able to simplify my life, is that, getting back to a feminine way of working, because we're working in a very masculine way when we're working 40 hours outside the home. Men can do that because they used to have wives. So they started that because they had somebody at home that was teaching the kids and cooking dinner. So when women went back to work, we didn't create our own lane. We just wanted to go work there. And this isn't really, so now we have a modern woman's dilemma. And it is up to the women to figure it out, I believe. And it comes with, definitely coming up with the plan and, thinking about, and being honest too. That's something I will talk about, because I do know there's a lot of women who say they can't get a lot done, they're overwhelmed, but you really don't take inventory of the time we're spending doing things that don't really matter, spending time on social media, arguing on comments, doing a lot of things. And our partners see this stuff, and we act like they don't see this. But when we can say we're not getting things done or things, or we're burnt out, they're got questions too. So that's something that I would love to, at the end too, is just remind us that, we can find solutions if we go with the mindset of that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It is astounding how much time we waste when we're not actively paying attention to it. My whole life, I feel like, started to get significantly better when I switched when first of all, I started using a day planner to get my life under control because everything was chaos. And then I had been using this one kind for about a year. And the next year I shifted to one that had like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And when I actually penciled in the accomplishments I wanted to get done, and made sure that I accomplished at least 3 big things in one day and had them all penciled in, I started getting so much more accomplished. My husband's here and he wants to say hi. Come sit down. The camera's right here.
Can't sit down.
Hello, Josh. How are you? Hello, Josh. So instead of you in the comments supporting, you're behind the camera this time.
Yeah, I'm taking care of the rugrat.
That is my husband. And he said, he's doing good. I had to give him a couple.
Lock him in the closet. Where's he at?
In his room. We're not in his room in there. I just haven't brushed his hair. Oh, well.
Okay. Well, thanks for
Well, we appreciate you husbands for holding down the fort for an hour, because we know it is. Oh.
Yeah.
We do. Thank you for coming to say hi.
You're very welcome. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so
I love it. No, I do agree. I was pulling out, I've been doing that this whole year. I mean, some days are less lighter than others, but when and what I don't get in one day goes to the next day. Right. So even though you don't see it marked off here, don't think it got to the next page that got marked off. But I do find that and it goes by the hour, you know what I mean? When I block off the times, I get way more done, and I can show my work, not only just physically what I'm producing, but I can personally look back and say, okay, this was not a day wasted of confusion.
Right. And you might think that around evidence. You might be like, crap, what did I get done today? Oh, wait, I got this and this. It's all good.
Exactly. Like days like this, I'm like, oh, girl, you was doing your thing today. You was on it. You was on it. Actually, so I highly recommend if you and just definitely put in place a checklist, a to-do list for sure, because if you're not operating that way, it will feel hectic all the time. You won't be able to show your work.
And you also have to know, like, for example, Valor takes a nap at 3:30 every day. So I have to just block off that time period every day is that time, lunch, nurse, nap, right? And I know, okay, this is when we wake up. So I fill everything out that I know ahead of time, right? And that's kind of fill in the blanks, right? What exactly can I fit into this block? What can I fit into this block? And it also really helps if you plan your life a month at a time. So the very first day of the month, take an hour or two and sit down and look at it and be like, okay, I know I have this appointment on this day. Make everything on Sundays. You're going to do your laundry, whatever it is, that pick a day that these chores have to get done, and map it out. So you're not like, throughout the week, and you know exactly what's coming. And then you move it over to your time slots. Makes sense? That's how I get things done.
So we know that Petra had to, she remembered that today was her anniversary just in time, it looks like, to have a blast. So with that being said, Petra's done a very, very good job of mastering her time and simplifying truly. And we all have simplification, because I think Petra might be number one. I feel like I have a very simple life too that I've simplified, and Charity will speak on what she does. But Petra was, gracious enough before she, took the day off to give us some of the things that she has been leveraging to simplify herself. Now, Petra has been married, like I said, 9 years today. She's been a business owner for over 4 years for sure, because that's how long we've been knowing each other. And yeah, so Charity, do you want to share some of the things Petra gave us as solutions that she's come up with?
I will share Petra's in a moment. I got a couple other things before that, because I'm kind of like, I got it categorized. All right. So the first thing I think, because I saw people on my own commenting and sending me messages about this one thing, is the house cleaning issue. So I don't know if you have a house cleaner, Danielle, but I used to think that having a house cleaner was like something only super rich people did, and it was really hard. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. And when I finally got a house cleaner, my life, I don't even have words for it. She comes once a month for 4 hours, and it just makes everything superb. And my house is 1,800 square feet, and it's not that expensive. Okay. It doesn't cost hundreds of dollars. It costs very minimal. I don't know what it is in your area, so I'm not going to give you a price, but that's one of the things that I would highly suggest if you can spare, a little bit of money to do that, because it's worth it, not having to worry about it.
Nice.
Do you have any house cleaning tips, Danielle, on how you run things?
Well, see, for me, I always joke I have 2 rambunctious boys, and well, actually 3 if you count my husband. And I just joke that it would be, I think a housekeeper is great for maintenance for my house. I'm one of those people who feel like no matter what, when a housekeeper comes in here, like 2 days later, I'm in chaos again. You know what I mean? I need to live in. I'm getting to the ridges where I have a live-in nanny or live-in housekeeper, one person. But with that being said, so what I try to do is I just try to break down what I need to get done so I don't overwhelm myself, and I create a routine. So I have a daily dozen habit sheet that's also in my daily notebook with my daily to-do list, or my daily dozen. So for the week, that I identify 12 things that I want to get done. And one of them is, putting 2 loads in and folding a load of laundry per day. And since I work from home, I work from 10 to 2, that gives me time where I can do that. So it's more for me maintenance and coming up with the plan. Again, I have checklists on cleaning things weekly and monthly so that I stay on top of that. It isn't, I can keep it manageable. So that's been really helpful for me, is identifying like what are the tasks that you needed, like making the kids lunch and picking out their clothes the night before, and clean up the kitchen and just doing those basic things. Like I'm always kind of prepared.
Absolutely. I love that. And it helps too with your daily planner. If you're like a month ahead of time, I do laundry on Sundays, I do this on this day, I do this on this day. So I will
say that if you're somebody who is overwhelmed with laundry, and this is definitely something you should outsource. And I don't think people think of it enough. To get clothes folded is only, I want to say, like $1 per pound or something.
It's really cheap.
So for like $20-$30, you can get your, clothes folded. I mean, you might as well just get them dry there, but definitely folded. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You can get that taken care of, and totally worth it. And also go to Netflix and watch Marie Kondo with certain and spark joy around this thing. Okay, I didn't spark flames up in this joint. I got the one together. And just learn how to like the basics of like folding and getting back. I'm also, one last thing I'll say about the house cleaning and laundry. For me, what I've been able to do to simplify my life is what. Now I'm not doing it right now, so this doesn't seem like I'm telling the truth, but I promise you can go through my social media and you'll know that it is true. That I have created a signature look for my business and for just me. I have a signature look, and most time, and I change it up on this show just to give y'all some color. But normally in my everyday life, I'm usually wearing black and gold. And I have a very signature look. Like I normally wear a lot of black, and I spruce up, my personality with accessories or shoes or stuff like that. Why? Because that way I don't have to think about it so much. I don't spend a lot when I'm shopping because I know I'm only primarily wearing black. So I'll get a couple colorful pieces, but I know I'm not every little trendy thing I see at the store. I'm not like, oh, I need that trendy thing, because I'm like, that doesn't go in my signature look. So it's so easy in the morning to get dressed in the morning because I wear a signature. It's like a signature look uniform. Now I still have style. Every time I go out, people think I'm rich or famous because when I wear black and gold all the time. It looks classy, even though it could be from Walmart. Seriously. So I don't even be wearing a whole lot of labels like that because it's, you know what I mean. It's not like that. It's not about that. But it's still because you have a style of look, that you cultivate. So it has simplified my life. I'm not thinking in the morning, you know what I mean? I'm not over shopping. So that's one last tip on kind of that.
That's a really, really good tip. And I love that because I've heard, Steve Jobs wore literally the exact same outfit with that black turtleneck and jeans every day of his life. And Mark Zuckerberg does something similar. Even Obama did something similar. So it's like, I was like, I don't want to wear the same outfit every day, but having the same style where you kind of have these parameters, that is really helpful.
Yes, it doesn't have to be, just parameters, because it makes it so easy to keep things So a signature style is a great way. And one last tip on that, it makes you very feminine in your household. Like when my husband comes home, I'm still dressed, because I have a signature look too with my makeup. Like I'll always wear false eyelashes. Now I might not wear anything else, but I'll have on a foundation, liner, and lashes. Okay, I want those 3 things on and some blush. So I'm always looking. So and I wear my black. It keeps me feminine just because I feel dressed up. Because and when he comes home, I'm put together. So I get to stay in my femininity. In that way too.
It shouldn't take you hours every day to get ready. My makeup, I think I wear eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow, and lip gloss every day, and that's it. And some glitter on my face if I have a moment, like highlighter or something, but that's it. I don't want to take more than 10 minutes to put my makeup on,
Yes, and I do dress up just, I definitely dress, but it's all, you know what I mean? Like it's still within that parameter. Right. So because I know somebody, we have a comment, hey, Sophia, she said it's good to dress up and have an effect on your mood, and project it out. So, and I also feel like having a signature style always keeps you ready as a wife and simplifies that overwhelm when you're out and taking pictures or, you know what I mean? Or us having to do a live stream for my business or, you know what I mean? You feel like you've already thought your look through. So nothing's thrown together because you're just that put together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not to say you can't have some days where you take more time, but on an everyday basis, you should kind of know what gets you together without being over the top about it because you have other things to do with your life. And also, by the way, with the laundry thing, my local company actually picks up and delivers too. And I don't think it's very much more. So that's something to consider too. If you're like, oh, I don't want to drop it off, that's covered.
Yeah. And I think honestly, the laundry is probably one of the biggest things you should, up there because I think laundry, honestly, I think if we had to poll women, that would be up there with one of the things that, you know what I mean? Makes your house look the craziest is clothes all over the place.
Absolutely.
Which is why you should definitely go through your clothes. And if it doesn't spark joy, not going to take it away from that. I didn't come up with that, but you should, go to Netflix. You can learn all about that, so you can get rid of some of that weight because all of this contributes to the heaviness of marriage, the heaviness of building a business, the heaviness of life is carrying all these things that are just out of control. So, you know what I mean? Or just heavy in general, just because it piles up literally.
Yep. All right. So what's another household thing that we can do to simplify? So let's talk about food. Okay. One of the things that stresses me out, and I'm even still trying to simplify there, is meal planning. So it would take me about an hour to actually make my meal plan for the week and my grocery list. And then it would take me another, I don't know, half an hour to actually place the order. I would go on my Click List or the Walmart or whatever and do the order. And then I'd still have to go pick it up. They do offer a delivery service, but because I'm vegan and sometimes I don't trust their judgment with the substitutions, I just go pick it up. And before that, it took me way longer because I would go and I would have to go grocery shopping. And when the kid came, I was like, this ain't happening anymore because it was just too much, So that's one thing you can do. If you can do a grocery order pickup, that's really helpful. There also are meal prep services you can do like HelloFresh, Purple Carrot. Those are like deliver ingredients to your door and give you the recipe and you can cook it. If you don't even feel like cooking, there's stuff like Vistro, which is a vegan meal delivery service. There's a lot of food options.
Well, yeah, well, you come back after this over charity and put all those links in the comments.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you. That would be awesome.
And as far as food goes for me and my household, I want you to talk about your whole plan, Danielle. But right now, because I'm sort of in crunch time with something I'm doing in my business, we haven't been cooking as much as we used to, but we've made sure to get some healthy frozen meals at the store. And like I said, we're vegan. So we make sure they fit within a certain calorie guideline and they fit our specifications. But it's really easy, and the kid eats a lot of rice and tofu and tons of fresh fruit. So that's pretty much what we're doing right now for our meals. It's not that hard, and lots of yogurt too, vegan yogurt.
Right. Awesome. I would say for me, ladies, wise, hear me loud. I don't know what took me so long to figure this out, but I had my stepmother was staying with me for a couple months, and she was already on this. But ordering your groceries off online. So we use Walmart groceries, and now I don't even go in the grocery store. It is I feel like I'm living in the most glorious days of mankind, because now I just drive to the pickup lot at the grocery store. They come out there, they put them in my car, and I drive off. No going down the aisles, wandering around, no screaming kids, none of this crap. Before I go pick them up for school in the afternoon, I go to the grocery store, fill up the car, pick them up. They're like, "Oh, you already got all the groceries done." Okay, no, and we're not dragging you through no store no more. That's 2009. Okay, we're in 2019, baby. So
that's so helpful.
That's for sure. I do online grocery shopping only. You do it the night before, you can pick it up the next day, and it's for free. Why would you ever walk in? I mean, I do walk out online, and then the next time I'm doing the order, all my favorite stuff that I need to reorder is still in the basket. I don't even have to think in the list. Okay, yep. That will cut down so much drama. The second thing that I do, and I'm working on this, so I'll share the behind the scenes, but it's definitely not perfect. So don't be like, but I'm showing you what I'm doing to implement the cooking thing, my dinner situation. So I'm going to pop this up here while you're on here too. Like, I use this software called Trello, which I'll also put down in the comments. I think this is showing. And so Trello lets you create different, this is a board. So I have a dinner calendar board, and then each one of these are called lists. So, and I made every day of the week a list. And then I'm working on so making an inventory of my favorite meals, right? And so on these cards, you can click it, have an image, then you create a checklist with the ingredients and the directions. So you can always see, you have the directions, the picture, and then you just move the card on the day of the week that okay, so this week we're having this, this looks good for Tuesday. And then that's one way as well. So using an online kind of like a Pinterest style Trello board is what I've been using to get my life in order, because I'm like, so looking for solutions that you can do, you know what I mean, to make your life easier using modern technology is definitely one thing I will have to attest to.
I love that system. I'm very old fashioned. I literally just get a notebook out and I'm like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then what I found really helpful was to actually figure out what my favorite meals were. And I just knew every Monday we eat this, every Tuesday we eat this, and I would also think about, okay, it's going to be a lot easier for me to make an Asian style tofu with some rice, because that takes 15 minutes versus some elaborate recipe that takes 45 minutes on the nights when we're just exhausted. And I happen to be more exhausted on Tuesday, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Based on what's going on in our lives. So think ahead to the days where you need a simpler dinner. Think ahead to the days where you have a little bit more time to cook a meal that's more elaborate. You can eat well and still have it be simple. So it just depends on what you feel like doing.
Yeah, and I would definitely say crock pot is your friend, okay? If you don't know anybody else, get on the phone with crock pot. She said, I'm telling you, that, and my little puppy cooks fast. So,
and air fryer helpful.
Yeah, during the week, crock pots are my friend, because I can literally put something on, go do my business, go pick up the kids, come home, and done. So that has really simplified my life, is looking for crock pot recipes, organizing them in Trello, using online ordering, so I'm getting the same materials over and over again. And
yeah, I love it. All right, let's move on to the next part, right? Let's talk about your children. Okay, so I was really overwhelmed when I had my baby because it's not something you can plan for. I didn't know how it was going to be. You don't know how it's going to be until you actually have a child. I didn't have any siblings, so I didn't know, I didn't get to watch my parents raise more kids, and I just didn't have no idea, right? So it took me a long time to figure out how I was going to be able to do some work while I had my baby because I had this overwhelming guilt every time I would try to step away. I felt bad asking my family to watch him, even though they liked it and enjoyed it. It still felt bad because I felt like I'm not asking them to watch him to spend time with them. I'm asking them to watch it so I get something out of it. And I couldn't shake that guilt, even though that seems silly probably to an outsider.
Right.
So here's what we've worked out as far as childcare without spending an arm and a leg. I didn't trust a stranger. Like I never was going to go and leave him at a daycare. And I also like the idea of having a nanny in my house just didn't appeal to me. I didn't want to do any of that. So what I figured out is on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have a co-working space that is about half an hour away from my house. They will watch him included childcare for 3 hours a day so I can get some work done. So we go there at the same time those days. Yeah. And then on Tuesdays, my grandpa spends the day with Valor. So I get I kind of use Tuesdays to work on the wife life stuff, and I use it to also kind of catch up on some rogue housework and things like that. On Wednesday night, my dad comes over to spend time with Valor, and he watches him so me and Josh can go to yoga together or maybe do something else we feel like doing. Thursday night, my mom and stepdad watch him so we can have a date night. And then on Friday, Josh spends time with Valor alone so I can kind of do anything else that might need to get done. And then we spend lots of time together as a family otherwise.
Oh, I love that. I love that I love that you incorporated family members on a weekly schedule like that. Now, that's brilliant because my stepmother just moved back in town and got her place. So, but I love that you incorporated family members on a weekly schedule to give you that alternate time all the time. That's so cool.
Yeah, and it was really hard before I decided to schedule because it's kind of just like sporadic and I couldn't plan ahead of time. Like, well, I really need to get this done, but I don't have the time to do it. And then, things would just fall by the wayside and it was crazy. Also, another tip, if you don't have a co-working space near you that has childcare, because I hear mine is the only one in my whole state that has one, so I don't know if it's everywhere. What I was trying to do before I found that place is take them to the local YMCA because they have childcare and they will watch them for 3 hours at a time. And you get to be in the same building. That was really important to me because, like I said, I don't trust people, but I knew that I was in the same space right down the hall. The problem with my YMCA, though, was they didn't have Wi-Fi and there was a really small space in the lobby. So I had to find something else. But you might have a nicer one. So that's something to look into.
Yeah, I actually started my first child, at the YMCA part-time for socialization. You know what I mean? So, he started off at the YMCA too for a couple hours, a couple days a week. And that was a good transition. And then I moved on to, putting them into daycare. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I put them into daycare even though I was home. So I was with my kids full time until they're about a year and a half, 2 years old. So they didn't really get into daycare situations until they're more closer to 3 years old and like getting them ready for pre-K. I wanted them to have that socialization after the break. But so at the earlier stages when they were home, I did take them to like the YMCA. So they definitely were in some kind of childcare situation for a couple hours, a couple of days a week. And I did think, because I was at stay at home with my kid all the time, and this was like, and it was driving me kind of crazy a little bit. Yeah. So I totally understand why new moms, like, being in the home 24/7 and not having a passion project where I can understand. Maybe some moms don't have that problem at all, where they could be just totally about their kids and like nothing. For me, I definitely was like, okay, need a breather. This is like kind of overwhelming. You know what I mean? So they definitely would get that. But then I definitely leveraged preschool and then school now as the time that I work. So I build my schedule around when they're in school now, that's my business time. But at 2:00, anything after 2:00 when I pick them up, I'm not officially on the clock. I do some work because I want to, and they're straight, but not because that's a working hour. Like, you know what I mean? So I now make sure I get my work done. And every day I'm making the more optimized, where I can make sure that even at 2 after 2, I'm like totally shut off. Like for that. So that's kind of my situation now.
Yeah. I think
And during spring breaks in summer, I do put them in camps. For me, like I am running my business at, hours during the day. So it is not ideal to be home with them all day, every day, long periods of time. Like I do have to put them in camps and stuff like that. But I mean, what I really appreciate is I still feel very flexible, because if they call me and need me, or need, like, I'm 10 minutes around the block. Like, it'd be so fast. The teachers are like, gosh, your mom's not playing. Like, okay. She's like, yeah, I'm like, Zoom, I'm here. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking through the comments. I didn't mean to neglect them.
As you said, yeah, I was seeing it. So she go ahead and answer them. She said she wished had family members close. Brianna, we're military and we're a little bit harder to have date nights. Any suggestions?
Well, I don't have a lot of suggestions other than what we've already said, Brianna. The YMCA is really going to help you, because at least that'll give you 3 hours to plan and do what you got to do, right? I'm sure YMCAs are everywhere, right? And they're minimal cost.
I should say with the military, because I'm from Fort Bragg, so I'm military Bragg. Oh, okay. So, I mean, I would say that, military is really good about having services on base for date nights. Like I know they have.
Cool.
Yeah, they do. They have things where you can drop, because they also have marriage retreats. I know I have a brother-in-law who's in the military, my sister, they have marriage plan retreats. So I would say definitely, if you're new to a base, tap into your military resource center, because they probably also have a recommended verified babysitter, because it's a military base. So and the military is very supportive of knowing that families need help, and don't know anybody when they just moved here. So definitely tap into those resources, because I'm sure you will find vetted, military approved, like, resources of people who can support you.
Yeah, and I know
the military, the last thing the military wants is families not working out. It is a stress to the military to have families and couples breaking in this situation. So believe me, I'm for sure they have something to keep that together.
Absolutely. And, when you leave somebody in childcare like that, since my place is not technically like a childcare service, they just have childcare, so that's why it's only 3 hours. They make sure to do background checks on these people, like they're vetted. They're not just going to hire anybody. And of course, you meet them and you can decide for yourself. But also, I'm astounded every time I check out my county and all the resources they have where I live that I don't even know about. Like, there's a million of them that I have no idea. And you probably don't know either, especially if you just moved somewhere. See if you can plug into your county website and see. I'm sure you're going to find some things you had no idea existed. That's what I would do.
And also, there's a lot of daycare and resources that do day drops, where if like $60, 50 days, you can drop the kid off for the day. And maybe you want to switch up your dating. Maybe, if it's a partner or a husband, he don't have to get you a date night at night. He can get that daytime at lunch, so maybe, or during the day. So you can do a drop day off and take a PTO day off, you know what I mean? Or do whatever you have to do for that. But do a lunch date or what have you. So get creative with that as well.
Absolutely. All right. That's pretty much all the tips I got for home. I think we should move on to business next, unless you have anything else as far as simplifying that.
No, I think we definitely hit on it. I hit the good things. I think I got all what I got. And I think that's it.
Okay, cool. All right. So a lot of these tips I got from Petra, like Danielle said earlier. So in my business, I just want to say, at this moment, I don't outsource anything on a regular basis, but one thing. I had tried outsourcing people to help me run my Facebook group and my email, and it just didn't work out. I didn't like the results. But my girl that my woman that I've been having do my Instagram for me, has been working with me since I think 2017, 2016. It's been a while. I don't know. It's been a while. And she's awesome. So she basically takes, since I teach Instagram, right? She takes my strategy. I told her exactly what I want her to do, and she just does it in a couple hours a week for me. And it takes a lot of stress off me, not having to do it myself, because I have other things that I need to be worrying about as a CEO. And once you get to a certain point, you just kind of realize that you're the mastermind and you don't necessarily need to be your own worker, if that makes any sense. I used to be all about hustle and bootstrapping and doing everything myself. And I made that I prided myself on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at a certain point, you're just kind of like, I think I can get more done if I can just step away and let somebody do this for me. So That's what I do. Before I talk about Petra's side of it, do you want to talk about what you do, Danielle, for outsourcing?
So I'm very much like you, Charity. I mean, I'm a creative. I mean, I built my business on actually, the talent of work that I create. So it's so hard to outsource, my graphic design.
Yeah.
Or my business coaching, because that's my intellectual property. So
Right.
I love those aspects of my business too, designing and all that. That is my actual business. So I can't even outsource that. And yet there's managing, but I have simplified my life. So it's not, unlike Petra, who does a lot of outsourcing, because our business models are different. And that's the key distinction, that how I've been able to simplify my life. So I have a business model where I work with fewer people at a higher investment. For that reason, I don't have to do a lot of things like content and emailing and, like a whole bunch of like overhead things. You know what I mean? I really don't have to do this. I mean, yeah, if I want to get to the next $1 million, yes, I'm going to have to step it up. But I'm saying up until to make 6 figures that I've been making for the past, 5 years, it doesn't have to be like that. So
Yeah.
What for me has been working for me is the way that I've just worked, and creating a way and working where I don't have to do a whole lot to hit my income goals. And that's really what's been helpful for me. You know what I mean? That's what I actually teach other women. I try to teach them a way where you don't have to do a bunch of busy work or work 60 hours a week or all of these things like these. You don't, and they just don't know what they don't know. We don't know that. We just assume it has to be hard and overwhelming and hustle and bustle. But actually, when you have a feminine business, like like you said, you don't have to do all that hustling anymore. You know what I mean? So that's what's worked for me. It's just really sticking to the business model that I know that allows me to not have to do so much.
I want to clarify something too, just so I got people. I still make all my own graphics just like Danielle does. I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things to do in my business. I write all my own captions because I'm a writer and I love it. Those are the two things that are my favorite. So I would never outsource those because I enjoy doing them. And it takes me 10 minutes to make a graphic. It takes me, 5 minutes to write the caption, and then that's done. It just doesn't take very much time. And it's something I love to do. But I have my girl kind of like do the following of people and chatting with people, leaving comments and all the things that go on with Instagram, right? Because I just don't feel like doing all that anymore. But I will talk to the people who leave me comments. So like I still talk to people, but she it's divided work. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, and I totally, and we have you know what I mean? Like you see, we all make money different ways. Doesn't mean one person's making it more or less. Normally when you have it in a scale like that, you're able to make more, to have a team to help you manage, because you do have more customers.
Right.
So you can't run like Petra's business. She has a group program, a mastermind. She has how she serves as one to many, same as you, Charity. I serve one to one. See, so it's just like, but when you serve one to many, you will probably more than likely need. And I could use it, and I've had people who worked with me over the years, paid people, long time paid people. I know what it's like to carry an employee, trust me. But I've simplified my life because I realized that, at the core, my family and how is actually outweighs to me money in some cases. My peace of mind in that perspective, also means something to me.
And you also have to know exactly what needs to get done in your business. If you're crunched for time, you need to sit down and figure out exactly what has to get done versus what would be nice to do. So it might be nice for you to post on Twitter, but if it's not making you money, get rid of it. Whatever the thing is, you need to figure out exactly what's bringing you money. So I pretty much decided last night that I'm probably not going to send out a newsletter anymore because I just don't feel there's a point to it. I do so much on Instagram. I'm going to get back into my Facebook group, and that doesn't take me very much time. I enjoy it. My newsletter kind of feels like one of those things I should do, but why? That's not where the money is really coming from. You know what I'm saying? So you need to sit down and make a list of exactly what's making you money and what you enjoy doing. Figure out, okay, I really like doing this and this and this, and then schedule it out every week. So I take 10 hours to do all these things. And the other things, Upwork is one of those websites. I can't remember them off the top of my head. Odesk they changed names.
Right. What is the other ones? Elance, is that one of them? Elance?
I think so. And Fiverr too, you can get for like one-off people. And these people, most of them work in the Philippines, and their cost of living is so much lower than it is here. So it might seem like you're a jerk paying somebody.
Yeah, I've used Filipino. Like, you can hire Filipinos. They speak English. They're very technically understand internet marketing, but they, they can do it for way like $4 to $5 an hour versus 12 to 15 for
Exactly. And I mean, obviously, if you want somebody who's native to America, that's up to you. But for most of these things, these people work really hard. They're very sweet, and they do a good job, and it helps them so much, the American money. So that's the way I look at it. And I love my girl.
So Sophia asked you, Terry, what do you think of the different income stream assets models? And then I'm referring to having possibly more than one business or investment.
Well, Sophia, I don't know. Did you watch the episode where we went over all of our different types of business models? I think it was called What Type of Business? Oh, what was it called?
Yeah, it was called
Which business model is right
for your family?
Yeah. So I would definitely watch that if you haven't already, Sophia. But of course, I think it's great to have, different income streams as much as possible. When I get to a certain level of income in my business, I'm going to read Tony Robbins' book on money, because I feel like that would be the first step to figuring out investments and different ways I can diversify myself. That's what I would do. Sophia also said, I think people get bombarded by newsletters. Exactly. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem as pertinent as it used to be. It's different when you have somebody in a funnel and you're sending them, some emails in a week or 2 week period. Right. But the ongoing newsletter is silly. Either they're into you or you're not. And if you've got an active Facebook group and an Instagram account, that's where they're going to be with you. And you don't need to send them that all the time. I just don't think people enjoy it anymore.
Right.
As much as they used to it. I mean, maybe sometimes, but for me, it just doesn't feel right anymore.
Right. Now, and that's, that comes in, I'm sure we'll talk about it, as establishing boundaries in your business, or, really just setting that's what's so great about being an entrepreneur. You really do get to create how you want to run your business. A lot of times women fall in the trap of thinking they have to do a business a certain way, or that it has to operate a certain way because everybody else is doing that. And I have come to find out that actually you can create a business however you want. And the thing you've got to do is you've got to claim that's how you want it to happen. You've got to operate in an energy and a frequency for you to receive that. For example, like, I know that, there are times that, like, I don't want to do any discovery calls, or I just want people to reach out to me in the messenger and be like, I want to work with you. What's the program, how much? And when I set that intention, I get people that reach out to the messenger. They're like, hey, I would love to work with you. What's your investment? Or, hey, I have a referral for you. So that notion that you have to do discovery calls to get clients, or you have to do this, that's not true, because when I set the intention at night, I do them if I choose to. But I know that I don't have to, because I know that, does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. It's all about intention. Women intentional about family and entrepreneurship.
That I think what you do is you give people, and I just wrote a little poem about this today, but when you decide to show up in your business a certain way, you give people the permission to do the same. So by you saying, hey, I don't enjoy doing newsletters, I like doing this on Instagram, and you proclaim that to your Instagram fans, they'll be like, whoo, I don't like sending emails either. Damn, exactly. I'm just so glad you just said that. I mean, great. Woo, I was carrying that burden around for 2 years, like, oh my God, nobody's gonna like me because I haven't sent out an email, and then I'm gonna send it out, and they're gonna be like, who are you? And then we'd be like, nobody. So you just liberated them by giving them permission. And that's what powerful women and leaders do. They set the standard, they set the pace, and then they give people permission to be what they really wanted to do anyways. And that's just what it is. Now, you obviously, if you're going to do that, you got to have that energy and frequency. Well, this is how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show up in a way that it's going to work for me. You know what I mean? So I'm not, if you abandon it, you got to come with it on how that's going to work for you.
Do it without apology too. Don't be like, I'm not going to send a newsletter out anymore. Like, no, I've decided not to send out a newsletter anymore. And I hope you join me on Instagram. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Right.
You don't have to apologize for doing things that are right for you. You should only apologize when something needs an apology, but you don't need to apologize for doing something that's right for you. And it's going to be right for your audience as well, even if they don't realize it.
Yeah, I would Yeah, I actually now get in the habit of not using the word I'm sorry. Like,
Me
so
too.
if I'm late for something, I'll say thanks for your patience. You know, instead of saying I'm sorry I was late. Like, I'm conscious now about not, you know what I mean? I'll say, thank you, thank you for your patience, for waiting for me, versus that is one example. But
Yeah, and it's not about being arrogant, like I don't have to apologize, because sometimes you do have to apologize, but it's just a matter of knowing, what is worth apologizing for so that your
and not
words don't
always
mean
being
nothing.
sorry. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Just switching it up so everything isn't leading with I'm sorry. Like, if you're really sorry about something, okay, we'll say I'm sorry. But not when you're late, okay, I was 5 minutes late. Like, I'm not sorry for that. I'm just more so like, thanks for, I mean, you know what I mean? In a certain situation, I was
Right.
just, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe
Right.
you didn't say sorry in that situation, but I'm just saying the people are always like, I'm sorry, and this is that, you know what I mean?
Girl, stop apologizing. All right, so I'm just going to share a couple of things that Petra shared with us about the way she outsources.
Everything right here, a little background. I was trying to leave a comment
Okay.
for Sophia to see. The episode title was called "How to Write Business."
And afterwards, I'll make sure and I'll go plug in any other links people ask for too. So don't even worry about that, y'all. Thank you so much for being here and with your questions and everything, though. So Petra does outsource her own graphics. I believe I have used her assistant for something else a long time ago. She's very nice. I'm pretty sure she's also from Philippines, if I remember correctly. So she has someone that does her graphics and runs her Instagram for her. She might also be the same person who runs her like tech setups as well. She also has someone for her customer service. She has a separate person that does her Facebook ad strategies. But I want to bring to mind too, Petra didn't just start off that way. Petra kind of built up to those things. Like when she was able to hire this person, she did. I've been with her on her journey watching all this. So it's not like she came in with buku bucks and was like, so you have to start where you are. That's very important. And like I said, if you enjoy making your graphics, that's one thing. But if you don't like it, like Petra doesn't enjoy it, then outsource it. It doesn't cost that much money and it's worth it, right? Let's see. She says, my mom has my 2 cats when I'm on holiday. So same for me. My mom comes by and watches my dog if we go away for a day or two. If it's more than that, I will take him to a local place to be watched for the week. And I actually take him to this one guy now that only watches like 2 or 3 other dogs at the same time, because when I took him to a place that had like 30 dogs, he always came back with Bordetella, kennel cough. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that. So try to find somewhere small if you have pets to do that. She says, we have specific chores in our house. Hubby does the trash and hangs out the washing, and he mops. I cook and I vacuum. So that's when I think back to the household projects. Like you can always split up, I don't like emptying the trash either. Josh does that. I feel like that's a man's job, is the trash. End of story. And Josh also does the dishes now when I cook. And if he happens to cook, then I will gladly do the dishes and clean up. So it kind of just depends there. And when we take turns vacuuming, somebody does the upstairs and downstairs between the days that the house cleaner comes. Like she only comes once a month. So every 2 weeks we vacuum just to keep it fresh. And I'm pretty sure that's it that Petra shared with us as far as that goes, right?
Yeah, it looks so.
And as far as finding somebody that you can trust, that was a big, huge problem for me. And it still is. Like, if I ever want to outsource something else, I think it's really important that you kind of set up an interview. You guys can talk on the phone or even, Zoom, Skype, whatever, face to face. You can kind of get a feel for this person, because you don't want to hand over the reins to someone that you don't feel you can trust, because then you're going to be worried and you're going to stress yourself out even more than if you had just done it yourself. So that's really important.
Awesome. Well, we have really enjoyed having this conversation. I mean, right, Charity? It was awesome, right? I think we did way better than I thought we were going to do. And we thank everybody who checked us out live and on the replay.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Shannon and Brianna. I think that's it. Maybe.
Yes, it is Sophia, Brianna. Yes. So thank you for everyone who's checked this out live. And like, again, if you come on the replay, please still leave a comment. We are definitely checking back and connecting with all of our viewers and our fellow wives.
Yep. We're so happy you're here, and we thank you so much for taking the time to leave comments and to even watch and be here with us. And if you've ever got any ideas for a show or you want to ask us questions, please feel free to leave us comments. We might just answer you or even create a whole show out of your topic. So please let us know anything that's on your mind, and we're happy to talk to you.
Yes, absolutely. So on that note, we will be concluding with today's episode, and we will be talking to you ladies next Sunday, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think it's 5 p.m. GMT time.
I can't get it straight. It's either 5 or 6.
Just Google 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that'll tell you whatever time your time is. And we will talk to you ladies later.
Bye, guys.